How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to take a look at the attacks that got me over 44,000 capital peak points. So we are, no surprise, going to be using the super miners, and we are going to be trying to do some cleanup attacks on some of these bases. So the big goal with the miner spam strategy is that you use the frost spells, and you want to make sure that you frost over as many defenses as possible. So when we take a look at the frost spell up top, we've got the 2 Infernos, 2 Spear Throwers, and 2 Cannons. That is pretty good value. The best value you can get with the super miners is, of course, if you can frost the big splash targeting defenses, being the rock artilleries, giant cannons, and the blast bows. So now we are just watching the miners cruise around the base. We still do have our lightning spell, which we can use to reset one of the splash defenses once our miners lock on to a big hit point building, usually the district hall itself. So we have a very nice split here. Got a couple of miners, one up top, take out the crusher, and the rest went down to the southern portion of the base, taking out the rock artillery. Now they all group up for this last portion of the base. And the miners can be as easy as this. Typically you are looking for bases that have around 7,000 points remaining. If the defenses are weaker, you can definitely look at taking out like 7,500 bases. And then if the defenses are more difficult, I would probably go for like 6,500, maybe 6,750. So here we are jumping into a Golem Quarry cleanup attack. Sent a few miners off to the right hand side so they would eventually land on this blast bow. Then the other 7 just into this kind of enclave on the left hand side of the base, so we can make sure to take out these pesky rocket artilleries. What's nice with the frost spells on the rocket artilleries is that even when they get locked onto a miner, a lot of times they will not be able to hit the miner, which is very, very huge. Most of the time, if your miners are grouped up well, they're all in the same building, they'll just, fly through one building, burrow underground, and the rocket artillery won't even get a chance to lock on to the miners. But even if it does, there is still a chance that it's so delayed that the miner finishes the building and burrows underneath. So we will be taking a look at one of the times where it does not go successfully, even though there is around 7,000 points remaining. That will be on this next Builder's Workshop. Very unfortunate. Oh wait, no, we're doing another Balloon Lagoon first. My mistake, it's the next one after this. So, we're going in with a different layout for the Balloon Lagoon. Still have around 7,000 points remaining. And then we're able to directly target that rock artillery on the edge of the base with our miners. It's going to work out very, very well. Do have to be careful of the bomb towers. So the bomb towers are like the primary defense that can actually defend against super miners, because the miners get hit with the explosion damage before they actually burrow underground. So if you're looking at ways to defend against the super miners, just generally upgrading your base in totally is a great way. Otherwise, you can specifically upgrade the bomb towers, and sometimes even the crushers can get some good splash damage in. Of course, you always want to be upgrading the rock artilleries, blast bows, giant cannons right away. Those will just help protect against any kind of strategy. And then if you get around to it, you can upgrade the Inferno towers, the Wizard towers. Those ones have a little bit higher hit points. And then surprisingly enough, even the Teslas, hidden Teslas, can actually usually get 1 shot off, sometimes even 2 shots off on miners. So level 5 Teslas do a lot of damage and usually causes a fail. So as you can see here, we are wrapping up the end of the attack, and we only have, I think, 4 or 5 miners left. Getting pretty low. It's because we did have to run right into a bomb tower at the start of the attack. We do finish up, and what's nice is if you use miners, you get a lot of bonus points. So we got a bonus of 300 for, what is it, they're each around, I think each miner's worth 75, so we had 4 miners remaining. So all of them were low health. So now we're taking a look at what not to do, which is on this Builder's Workshop. So biggest thing is that these frost spells, I missed this crusher. So that crusher dealt a lot of damage, and we don't have anything left to frost over for this back end crusher and blast spell. So you ideally want to target bases that are they have spread out clumps of buildings. That's the best way to explain it. If all the defenses are clumped up together, it's going to be really tough for miners because just a lot of defenses are going to be shooting at them at the same time when they are above ground. And then if the base is too far apart, then you can potentially run into some time issues, sadly enough, because the miners are quite slow. So you're ideally looking for bases where you can maybe take out one or two of the splash targeting defenses that will take them out. And then ideally there's kind of like pockets of defenses, and they line up really well for using a frost spell. You can hit like 9 or 10 defenses all at once, which is kind of crazy. So as we can see, that crusher did some very big damage to our miners. Got our last miner. It does eventually take out the blast spell, which is nice. We do get, a few hundred extra points, but we missed out on that extra 1,000 points and probably about another couple hundred of bonus points for having the miner survive. So potentially could have even got even higher points, maybe 45,000, maybe 46,000. Now we're taking a look at a Dragon Cliffs. Now I sent the zap spell in first to take out that low health bomb tower, if you were watching carefully. And then I sent a couple miners up top so that they would eventually take out this bomb tower up top. Now once those two bomb towers are dealt with, we only have one bomb tower remaining. And you might be thinking, well, what about the super dragons? Well, what about them? The frost spell is pretty overpowered and it slows down their attack speed drastically. So the super dragons really cannot even get one breath off. Even when we look up top here, we have 3 miners. The super dragon with no frost spell only got like a partial hit off. Now as these miners split, I think it clipped 1 super miner up top. That's about it. So Dragon Cliffs is an excellent base to hit with the super miners, and you don't even have to deal with the super dragons anymore, which is kind of crazy. Usually you'd have to use like Inferno dragons or some archers with rages, and it was a whole big dealio strategy trying to take them out. But with the super miners, you can very easily just clear through a lot of the Dragon Cliffs out there. Now last but not least, we've got the Goblin Mines. So Goblin Mines is one of those bases where everything is very spread out. We got the spread out pockets of defenses, which is nice. This is the default layout. And then we had a couple of frost spells from the previous attacker that I guess did not quite go so well. So I opted to split my miners into 2 groups of 5. So we got these 5 down south here. So they'll eventually work on this Goblin launcher, and then we've got these 5 up top. Now why I wanted to split the miners, especially on the Goblin Mines, is because if you send them all in one spot, there's a very high chance that the miners will time fail, unfortunately. You can use one zap, like I did there, to take out some of the goblins from the launcher, but typically, unless the Goblin Mines is very well upgraded, or they've moved some stuff around, of course, then it is a different layout. But the basic layout usually doesn't have any issues with the super miners. Biggest thing is time. So typically, if you're going to do like a fresh hit on a weaker Goblin Mines, I would try and bring just a couple extra troops, maybe a giant super wizard, try and take out one of the Goblin Mines up top, and then the super wizard can potentially help out later on as well with some cleanup. There are a lot of one-shot videos for the Goblin Mines using a variation of the Sparky and I think just kind of a few other like specific troops for specific portions of the base if you really want to pick it apart. And as always, if you want to try and get the most amount of points as possible, it will be to learn about the one-shot strategies. If you're under 2,000 upgrades as a clan capital, just in total, then you will be fighting a lot weaker districts in those raids. So once you're over 2,000, you probably won't be seeing the default layout too many times. That's just how the metric is that Supercell made it to try and improve the matchmaking. So had some easier opponents this week, which is nice. So hopefully you learned a thing or two. Hopefully you use the super miners and absolutely destroy bases, especially if you can, sometimes at weaker districts you can actually one-shot a lot of districts with the super miners if you have them upgraded. So definitely prioritize them. Definitely prioritize the frost spells, and sometimes throw in a heal if there is a high hit point area that the miners are going to get stuck at. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out a bunch. There's a couple more videos on the screen if you want to keep on watching. Until next time, take care.